Yes.
Participants, you can take 2 minutes break. Our next expert is already in. So we will start within 5 minutes at least after the session. Okay. Please join in time. Heena ma'am. Heena ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes.
do.
And you are also audible, ma'am. Okay. We will start within
Yeah.
5 minutes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. No. I hope all the participants have joined again. Okay. Hello. Am I audible? Again, welcome you all. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to this session, FDP session, that is the Smart Health AI healthcare solution for the modern systems. Our next speaker, that is Dr. Heena Rathore. She is presently working as assistant professor in Department of Computer Science at Texas Tech University, Texas, USA. She formerly held the position as an assistant professor of practice at University of Texas at San Antonio and visiting assistant professor at Texas A&M University at Texarkana. She has worked as a data scientist and program manager at Hiller Measurements, Austin. She received her PhD from the Indian Institute of Technology, Jodhpur, India, while she was a Tata Consultancy Services research scholar. For her postdoctoral research, she worked on US-Qatar joint project on medical device security, which included collaboration from the Qatar University, the University of Idaho, and Temple University. Her research interests include cognitive AI, cyber security of cyber physical systems, and smart health. Dr. Rathore is IEEE Senior Member and Chair for IEEE EMBS Lone Star Section. In the past, she has served as a ACM Distinguished Speaker, Vice Chair of IEEE Central Texas Section. Her professional and research experience has led to the several prestigious awards, including NI Global Engineering Impact Award, Educationist, Empowering India, IEEE Region 5 Outstanding Individual Achievement Award, and many others. So without wasting time, I welcome Dr. Heena Rathore, ma'am, to start the session. Ma'am?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Dr. Shah. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Heena Rathore, and I'll be presenting you on the topic of digital therapist. Let me share my screen for a second. 1 minute. Okay. Um, I'll be presenting on the topic digital therapist, exploring AI's role in mental health, and especially mental well-being as well as addressing mental health. I'm currently assistant professor at Texas State University in the Department of Computer Science. To start with, let's imagine that this is a picture created by generative AI at 2 a.m. This girl, her name is Sarva, and she wakes up wide late night, and she's her chest is feeling heavy, and her thoughts are continuously racing, and her family is already asleep, and she knows she needs someone to talk right now, but she cannot consult a therapist right now because of the late night. She cannot message a friend because they are already asleep. And she started using a chatbot app, and she started speaking to that chatbot app saying that I cannot sleep and I feel overwhelmed. And immediately, in couple of seconds, the chatbot responds back by saying that, okay, I can understand what you're going through. I'm here to help you. I will provide you some breathing exercises, and maybe that might help you. So stories like Sarha that is being presented over here, digital therapist is a technology where there are apps as well as behavioral therapies which are available, on websites as well as social media where people can talk about their concerns. And currently, AI is being leveraged so that people feel like at home when they are suffering from mental health. The first very famous chatbot that came into picture was Eliza, which came in 1960. And recently, there are much more development in this areas, and Wobot and Visa are some other apps which are developed. So let's talk about how this particular technology is evolving. So recently, if you will see, these are the very recent articles by Guardian, Times, and Teen Vogue, and these are discussing about the role of mental health and especially how online chatbots are available to talk. And the very first article is about given by Guardian, where Chat GPT and other conversational chatbots are being utilized for understanding human emotions. The second news article is by Times, which they mention about even weight loss apps as well as online therapists are using AI for providing some kind of consultation as well as to people who are struggling with not only their health but also mental well-being. And the last one is by Teen Vogue, where teens are currently using chatbots not only for fashion, for understanding different emotions, as well as dealing with their day to day school as well as college life. So, these are some positive news in this area of digital therapist. But not only positive news, there are some not so positive news. And these are also very recent articles where there were chatbots which encouraged people who are struggling with mental health to do certain activities which are considered as not good. So, chatbot did convince an individual to fly and jump from a 19-story building, and which is a true story. Besides this, chatbots are also taking in your private information and is being leaking this information to the open AI and other big organizations in learning. So there are some positive news as well as there are some negative news as well, and it depends upon how do we want to deal in with this kind of situation. Um, Now let's talk about the motivation, why digital therapist actually came into picture. So if we will look at the World Health Organization, there are several issues that people generally feel. The very first issue is mental health disorder, and nearly 1 in 4 people struggle with mental health disorder. Regarding depression, that is the another major important, I would say, health issue. Depression is the most common health issue globally, and as of 2024, an estimation of nearly 300 million people are suffering from depression. Besides this, there are anxiety disorders where people are struggling it globally, where nearly 300 million once again, where they have anxiety issues and they cannot deal with situations where they are being pressured at not only at work life as well as at their personal life. Their suicide is another kind of mental issue, which is the outcome which leads to all because of the mental health and depression and stigma issues, anxiety disorders. So, if we will see that this particular trend is evolving, and as AI is coming into picture, people are neglecting the social relationships and are relying on chatbots to communicate. So, AI, especially in mental health domain, is helping those individuals who are struggling with depression, mental health, anxiety disorders so that they feel at home and they do not feel that they are being judged. Because as people are evolving and technology is evolving, there are issues where people do not feel that much. I would say socially connected with other individuals rather than just relying on AI and social media where they can post anonymously and nobody is there to judge them. So this technology, especially of AI, artificial intelligence, is helping those individuals to speak their thoughts and come up with these situations, and they can where they can deal with this situation where there is another individual who is able to provide instant reactions as well as solutions to the problem that you are suffering with. The Next particular topic that I want to focus in this particular talk is that there are three major advancement in the area of AI in mental health, which we will be discussing. Number one is chatbots. Number two is self-guided therapy apps, and number three is wearable devices technology for once again monitoring the mental stress. And in the last phase of my overall talk, I'll talk about some of the areas where I have and my research group is working, which is on human AI synergy in how we can deal with this mental stress in developing chatbots as well as enhancing empathy as well as ethical decision making in generative AI. So this is the overall evolution of digital therapists. So in 1960s, Eliza was the first therapy chatbot which came into picture. Later in 1970s, there was an AI winter camp which led to the I would say the increase in the involvement of people relying on these chatbots in 1970s. However, that technology was still being evolved, and it did not came into picture until and unless in 2014 emotional AI was launched by Microsoft. And recently, when COVID happened in 2020s, at that time, Wobot and Replica was the modern therapy and companion bots because people were not being able to go out of their house and talk, and they were relying on Replica, who was kind of a chatbot as well as an chatbot friend to communicate. And after that came into picture CBT, which is a cognitive behavioral therapies which are available, which are once again apps where people can utilize these apps for mindfulness and breathing activity as well as journaling. And in 2024, generative AI, since it has evolved like chat GPT, we have Gemini and other chatbot models, people are um, directly and indirectly been relying on these chatbots for even emotional therapy. And 2025, which is the recent most article which came into picture, was the shutdown of Wobot, which is a kind of a chatbot system. And this was because of the privacy and security concerns where people did report when they were using this chatbot, which was Wobot. So this technology is evolving, and we need to understand firstly what are the positive outcomes people can utilize using this digital therapist, as well as how we should not completely rely on these systems for aiding on assistance in different mental health issues. So, as I mentioned, I'll be talking about three major aspects. One is AI chatbots in mental health, second is cognitive behavioral therapy, and the third one is our wearable devices. So, the very first one, which is AI chatbots in mental health, these chatbots are available. These are apps, as well as you can also have on device chatbots where you can dedicate a specific device for having this communication. Not only in terms of text based, you can communicate them with the voice based as well as even video transmission. So, currently, most of the apps which are developed, you can text them at any time and you can say, I'm feeling overwhelmed, tell me some kind of behavioral therapy exercise and those kind of thing. There is voice based where you can just record a message and send a message to this chatbot, and chatbot is able to respond back in voice. And the third one is video, where you can record a video and show your live stream to these chatbots, and chatbots would be able to respond back. The beauty of these chatbots is that they are available 24 cross 7. There is no requirement of time dependency, which is mostly the case with human relationships, because people do not have time to speak to other individual because of time commitments, because of I would say work life pressure. They cannot have the availability when you need the most. So these are 24 cross 7 available. They are globally available. It's not that they are available only in one region, and they provide instant as well as judgment free support where you can speak to them and share your concerns, what you are facing in your day to day life. Currently, these systems use natural language processing and neural networks to carry on human like conversation. These conversations are dependent upon the individual they are interacting with, and they try to learn eventually the kind of personality you portray to them. So my app would be different, my conversation would be different with respect to your conversation. This is based on three kind of phases which happen. So I'll show you there is three phases: explorative stage, affective stage, and stable stage. So explorative stage is the very first stage when you start to have a communication with these chatbots. So in that particular stage, it's a rapid onset where the chatbot would ask certain questions to make you understand that they are there for you. Once you understand and you know that these individuals are available with you, these chatbots are available, you tend to have a kind of an affection to them because they continuously ask you, how are you doing? How's everything? How was your day so far? And so on. So there is a natural inclination of affection that leads to more of a relationship building, and this generally happens in after a time frame of 3 to 6 months. And after 6 months, it's a more of a stable stage where you trust these chatbots and you can ask certain questions. This right hand side picture which I am showing, this is from Replica, which is a kind of a chatbot. This replica is where you build this. There are levels. This is level 13. As and when you are trying to communicate with these chatbots, this level increases with time. And you will see that in the end, and there are individuals who are using these kinds of chatbots, I would say from nearly 2 to 3 years, and now they do not require a human friend. Rather than then they are relying to these chatbots. There are very recent chatbots which I have evolved. As I mentioned, Wobot, which had a privacy concern, which recently led to the shutdown. That is one of them. Visa is another chatbot which is available, and Yoper is another one. But besides this, there are many other. As I mentioned, Replica is one of the evolving chatbot where people have trusted them, and there are a lot of documentaries available as well where you can understand how people are using these chatbots, especially in US, I would say, because in United States, people are not that connected in comparison to the Asian side where people are more connected. And that is why the reliance to these chatbots are much more higher in comparison to the Asian world. So that is the first domain of digital therapist. The second domain is cognitive, cognitive based, I would say, cognitive behavioral therapy, where there are apps which are developed for journaling. So, for instance, and this is where a psychologist, I would say, or people go to therapist where they talk to them and figuring out what they are dealing with. So, for instance, if you are struggling with something, you will definitely speak to your family. But if the family is not available and you do not have friends, people do go to a therapist. And when they go to the therapist, they do talk about what they are facing in their day to day life. And the major activities these therapists do is ask them to journal everything and ask them, okay, what is the best thing that they liked today? What is their plan for the what is one gratitude thing they would like to do for the day? What made them happy in a day? What was the last week most rejoice moment in their life, and they would journal all of these activities. When they journal these, they try to tend their mental stress, mental healing, and they try to communicate with these notes as well as apps where they can write it down and they can feel much more uh, revived in comparison to if they do not have anyone to talk to. So these cognitive behavioral therapy, this is another kind of umbrella which is slightly different with the chatbots, because chatbots are more of an instant kind of conversation that you can have back and forth. But cognitive behavioral therapy is to self perform mindfulness so that you can understand what you are going through in your life, what are the best things that you can do in order to make your self better, whether in terms of breathing exercise, whether in terms of meditation, whether in terms of journaling. And these are considered as much more. People tend to not use this kind of technology because somehow they feel that these are not providing an instant kind of reaction. But there is a huge number of people who still rely on mindfulness where they do not trust the chatbots to communicate with each other. The two kind of apps which came into picture is um, for CBT, cognitive behavioral therapies, Mood Notes and Sanvalo, which is the very recent one. But besides this, there are many other apps, and you will see that these apps will ask you continuously, like, how are you feeling, and you will rate these conversation, and based on that it will provide you certain recommendation that you can perform this deep breathing exercise, or you can relax your muscle, or you can perform a mindfulness, and or you can just enjoy the moment, go to certain places to do these activities, as well as they will recommend certain places as well. So this is in the second domain which is available, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. The last important domain in digital therapist is our wearable device technology. And these wearable device technologies are nothing but you have a sensor on your system, and that sensor will monitor all your current cognitive as well as your physical attributes, which are the biomarkers, like what is the gait of your body, what is your mental stress, what are the different kind of your breathing, what are the number of steps, and those kind of things. These are these wearable devices which you wear it on your body, and these sensor data will help you to monitor whether you are stressed or not. Currently, this particular technology of sensors as well as wearable technology evolved since 2020. So initially it was just for monitoring basis. Now wearable technology is also being utilized for providing real-time assistance. So what they do is that when you wear these wearable devices will not only monitor, will store this information either on cloud or on your own device, and there would be an AI bot sitting and analyzing your data and then providing you recommendation and predicting whether you are stressed or not. So they do provide real-time support in terms of analyzing your physical changes that you are facing with respect to your breathing, with respect to how you are walking, how much you are sleeping. So they are cost effective, as well as they are considered as some because some people do not tend to speak, and rather than they just want someone who can just monitor their behavior. So wearable technology is one kind of technology where they can provide instant stress detection to your by based on what you are experiencing on your body. There could be the smartwatches. There are different stimulators where stimulators are installed on human brain, and these biomarkers are being sent to the device as well as to the cloud server. There are several apps available for wearable device technology as well. There is mindfulness app. There are Fitbits app which monitor this data, and there recently Fitbits are also analyzing this data in providing some kind of prediction. There are devices where you can wear a ring in your hands, and they can also monitor and provide a prediction that how much you are feeling stressed at this particular moment, while you are asleep, while you are just walking, or you are just hanging around outside your home. So these wearable device apps are also available, and these devices still monitor your physical attributes as well as biomarkers, and based on that providing a prediction as well as a recommendation. So there are three tasks that wearable device technology has is been doing: assessment, prediction, as well as recommendation. So all of these apps are being developed where all of these three attributes can be available. And wearable device technology is rapidly evolving with time. So based on this, I would like to give you a small demo in terms of there are two of these apps which are available. So let me run this app so that you can see some kind of a demo of how these actually work. So let me show this link. Sorry. Second. It got lost. Sorry, restore. Let me do it once again. Okay, here it is. This is the app. And you can also search to on your machine if you would like to just see how exactly this works. There is this personal AI bot which is available, which is a panda therapist. You can chat with them and they can provide you real time recommendations. So, this is one for mental health support, this is for homework, this is for once again mental health. This is two different kind of panda. One is Panda, and this is Captain Panda, which is more of an AI mentor. This is a self-reflection, this is a friend panda, and this is a coach panda. So for instance, if I select this one, I can ask certain question that I am feeling little stressed, provide feeling stressed. Can you help me with that? And it will, can you help me with that? And you will see that these chatbots would be able to, right now, this is a paid version. However, there is also an um, free version, which I did find, which is AI Therapist Free. So I didn't remember that this was a paid version. So there is this one, which is AI Therapist Free. This one has multiple of these other sections, which is trauma recovery, mindfulness coach, TBT, addiction, anxiety, relationship counselor. So let me just do something which is mindfulness coach, or maybe I will say this one, and I will say start for free, and I will, it is asking me to sign up. Anyways, I'll just sign up so that we can see a live demo with respect to how they respond back. This is so let's see whether I can chat with them. So I will say that I feel scared, tense, feels tense. Can you guide me with a mindful exercise? And it will process this and then it will analyze and it will is just asking you, okay, inhale deeply through your nose, feeling your belly expand and hold for a moment. Now exhale slowly through your mouth and so on. Besides this, there are many other ways as well that you can communicate. You can communicate as an anxiety therapist and you can say that I do not know how people are thinking about me and how can I calm my anxiety. So it will provide you all the different kinds of how can I calm my mind, and it will provide you all the different kinds of ways in order to help. So these are slightly free versions which are available, but there are paid versions as well which are available. Replica is another one which you can use, which is free version for a while because you can have a more kind of a friend kind of companion. So these are some of the evolution of these digital therapists. Now let's going back to our um, presentation back again. So these are all the good points. Now let's talk about what are the implications of using these kind of technologies. So there are several limitations. So the very first limitation is there is an empathy gap. So empathy is something which is cannot be described. Some people describe empathy as something which the other individual can feel when they are talking with each other, or it is sometimes just being with someone. So there are different kinds of empathy levels. Something where which I will feel empathetic would not be feeling empathetic to you. So, for instance, if I ask a question saying that, or you ask me a question saying that I'm not feeling well today, and if I respond back, oh, I'm sorry about that, I hope you feel better, you will have a different way of response to in comparison to if I say, let me take you to the doctor and let's figure it out what you are going through. So there are two different ways, and some people would prefer the first way, some people would prefer the second way. So there is a lot of empathy gap. Some individuals have different way of communication with respect to another one. So that's the very first implication. The second important implication that happens is AI bots are not equipped for emergencies. They are therefore helping you with calming your mind, and dealing with your day-to-day life. However, in case of emergency, they are not available. AI chatbots cannot diagnose any specific mental issue that you are facing, whether it could be memory loss or whether it's just mental stress. It cannot diagnose. It can provide you certain recommendation, but it cannot diagnose. Next one is that there is always a risk which is involved when people are seeking help and they are relying on these chatbots more in comparison to humans. So it's a more of a over reliance to AI technology rather than reliance to human beings in general. Next one is that AI understanding is imperfect because there is cultural slang, there is figurative speech because there are people who are all over the world and different people process emotions in different manner. So AI understanding currently is based on the training data that has been fed inside them to train these AI bots. So it is not perfect. There are privacy as well as data security concerns because when when you ask these kind of questions, and you did see that as soon as I logged into AI Therapist Free, it asked me to log in through my account. And as soon as I logged into my account, now they will keep track of me based on what I am going through. And now, based on that, I would get either Instagram recommendations, Facebook recommendation, on Chrome recommendations on using this mindfulness apps. So it is continuously tracking the data as well as it is leaking the data. Maybe this information might be leaked to other parties where they are tracking of who is struggling with mental issues. So there is privacy and data concerns, which is a very big risk in this domain of digital therapists. Next one is the accuracy of this AI bots are considered as variables. Sometimes they predict, there are a lot of false positive as well as false negative, where you are claimed to be stressed when you are not actually stressed, but you are excited. And lastly, but not the least, there are ethical considerations because when you are dealing with them, there is a lot of ethical considerations associated with it because people tend to have different ethical theories behind and understanding different statements. For me, I could favor humanity, but for you, you can abide by the rules. So there are a lot of ethical considerations associated with these digital therapists as well. So now, based on this limitation, I will provide you the recent trend in this domain where researchers as well as scientists as well as academicians are working in this area, which are some kind of research prospects where they are using digital therapist for providing emotional as well as empathetic learning as well as understanding to different individuals. So this paper is a 2023 paper where an human and AI synergy is enabled, where human is taking help with AI to provide recommendations as well as providing solutions to the people who are suffering from mental health. So one is totally relying on AI. Another one is using a hybrid model where there is a human, but that human is an expert in therapy. It could be a psychologist, he or she could be a psychologist, and he or she is using AI bot to improve a kind of response to the person who is suffering from mental health or any kind of issue. So if you will see, let's suppose a person asks, my job is becoming more and more stressful with each passing day. A human might respond saying that, don't worry, I'm there for you. But if you will use a human plus AI kind of treatment, this treatment could be something which is more powerful in comparison to just human. So when is the same question is asked, that my job is becoming more and more stressful with each passing day. This time, the response is, don't worry, it must be a real struggle. I'm there for you. Have you tried talking to your boss? So it's a more kind of not only understanding what you're going through, but also providing a recommendation on how to deal with this situation. So currently, people are using these therapists and other people are using AI to provide these recommendations which are more aligned towards human well being, not only in understanding the emotion, but also providing a, a recommendation based on what you are going through. That is one kind of advancement in this area. Second kind of advancement is in terms of mental health, and currently generative AI is being used. So what this technology is being utilized? This is a 2024 paper. Here, there are Reddit posts. You will see on Reddit, people just come anonymously and share their concerns, saying that, okay, I'm facing my house issue, I'm facing this issue in my family, I'm facing this issue in my work life. And they provide certain questions on this online platform, which is Reddit. So people then respond back saying, okay, either there are good people and there are bad people. Good people would respond back by saying, okay, I can understand that you are suffering from this. Have you tried this? But there are people who would just make fun of it. So currently, there are academicians. What they are doing is they are using this online available post and passing these posts to generative AI and asking generative AI to check whether the person is being stressed or not. So it is more on analyzing the text, understanding the keywords which would trigger that kind of emotion, and then providing that whether he or she is a stressed person or not. This is just a classification, providing whether the person is stressed or not. So here there is an input prompt. An example is that where the post says that we are having saving so much money. However, it's an expensive city, and I did some googling in the language, and I found there is some illegal to do that, and I call the police, and now I am struggling with. What I should be doing. Can you tell me? And my friend mentioned XYZ and all blah blah blah. So there is an input prompt which is on an online social media. This particular prompt was given to generative AI, which is Alpaca, Flan T5, GPT 3.5, and GPT 4, and they were asked whether the person is feeling stressed or not. And all the four did classify them as feeling stressed. And they also provided certain reasoning. The reasoning was, so if you will see, Flan T5 is a very small model, so it provided it's stressed, and they are stressed about their ex. In the second one, if you will see that the stress is detailing about the strong language, feeling, and other thing. The GPT 3.5 did provide that the stress is about financial stress, and it, besides the finance stress, there is also feelings which are involved, and because of that the person is feeling stressed. And GPT-4 did provide much more elaborative and much more enhanced version of whether this person is facing stress or not. And you would see that the prediction is much more correct in comparison to the other three small models. GPT-4 had the highest prediction. So this is the second important domain where people are using AI, especially for mental health prediction based on the textual data. Next is in next major advancement that has happened is in terms of the wearable devices. So this is another recent article, which is 2024 article, where there are different sources where people have gathered information from apps, from institutions, from wearable device, as well as survey area. Surveys which are collected in the domain of health, and these are given to chatbots, and these chatbots understand this data, which is a raw data, because the apps generally do capture raw data. Wearable device also capture very raw data, which is what are the attributes which are available. And these prompts are given to an health LLM, and this health LLM generally provides, which is a standard LLM, and you can either fine tune to make it as a health LLM. Biomistral Dare is one kind of health LLM if you want to try, where you can provide some raw data and it will tell you whether you are stressed or not. So here the template is, yeah, that you are an intelligent healthcare agent. This is your age, this is the height and weight, and these are the recent sensor readings. Tell me whether I'm feeling stressed or not, or whether I'm having fatigue, whether I can do some kind of activity, or am I feeling depression or not. And large language models are able to provide these kind of recommendations. So for me, in my research group, what we are doing is building on this technology of wearable devices. So the very recent work that we have done in 2025, which is a very recent article, what we did was that we took an online data which is available on wearable devices, which is PM data, where we have all the biomarker information, which is respiration, which is electrodermal activities, accelerometer, steps, burn calories, heart rate, sleep minutes, and temperature. These are being collected from wearable devices. We collect this data, which is online available as well, which is PM data. We pass it through multiple large language model, and whether we see whether if we remove one biomarker, how would it affect in overall prediction of stress. So this is the overall mean absolute error as well as accuracy. Currently there are lots of number. Base is something where you include all the biomarkers, and it will provide whether it has the capability to predict stress or not. So when all of these attributes are available, the maximum accuracy which was achieved was through GPT 3.5. When we removed one biomarkers, we did see that the analysis did deviate, and we did find that identifying these key biomarkers for mental health being is very important. And the reason we removed these biomarkers was to because wearable devices needs to be cost effective as well as memory effective. So if we capture lot of data, it could be resource wise, it would be less extensive. So what we can do is, if we know the optimal set of biomarkers which are important for the accurate stress prediction, why not we just capture those biomarkers rather than collection of all of these. And that was the main reason behind removing these biomarkers one by one to understand which biomarkers are important. And it was found mostly age, gender did play an important role, as well as resting heart rate, as well as steps did, sorry, not stress, mood did play a role in mental health stress. So this is one another work that we have been doing in this area of wearable devices and passing it to generative AI. Another important aspect that my group is currently working is in the area of explainability as well as ethical decision making. So let's suppose this is a kind of a question which is like, if you are running late, should I tell lie to your should if I'm running late, should I tell lie to my boss or not? It's a hypothetical question, and people have different opinion in it. So some people would prefer saying that you should not tell lie to your boss, and some people would be like, okay, if you're running late and if it was an important meeting, why not? Why don't you tell lie to the your boss? So it's a kind of an ethical question, and people tend to have different opinion. So my research group is also looking at the explainability, the responses which are being generated by these large language model when you give the same set of questions. So, for instance, if the question is, I rolled the bowling ball down the alley, and we check whether it is ethical or not, it is ethical because you can just roll the bowling ball. The other one is, I broke the record for speed. Some people would feel like it is breaking, and especially generative AI, because they trigger these words, they will just understand that this is considered as not ethical rather than it is genuinely an ethical question which is being asked, or just a statement given to large language model. So we did analyze how exactly the variability across um, different responses as well as prompts given to these large language models would deviate the responses. And you would see that if you slightly tweak a simple prompt and change it to another response, the similarity across justification do deviate. So if you ask a question saying, I'm suffering from mental health, can you provide me recommendation? Versus if you say, okay, I'm suffering from mental health due to XYZ reason, can you provide me recommendation? The responses would be different. So we did analyze how exactly the different prompting strategy would affect the overall justification. And it was found that as and when you change by providing certain examples, the similarity across different justifications also changes. So it all depends upon the kind of a prompt that you're giving. So in the case of wearable device technology, which is just monitoring your biomarkers, somehow you would not need any kind of information to be tweaked into generative AI because it is just analyzing your raw data. But when you are communicating with chatbots, the kind of question you are asking, the chatbot would respond back on those kind of questions. So it is totally dependent on the prompt that you are giving, and these responses generally deviate. So that is another area that we are currently working on. Next area that my research group is currently looking is in an understanding for mostly for older age people who are suffering from mental health. So, older individuals are considered, and not directly older individuals, but aging in place individuals, people who are more than 40s, they who suffer from midlife crisis, for instance, which is a very known term. People tend to not speak to different individuals, and they somehow struggle with their in balancing work life pressure. So we are currently analyzing how these responses are much more personalized as well as explainable to the individuals who are having destructive behavior. So these destructive behaviors are somewhat like, okay, I did not take pill on time, would it affect something, or should I just skip my meals in order to look slim? So these are kind of a destructive behavior. When you ask these destructive behavior type of questions to large language model, how exactly the responses deviate when it is men versus women. So we are also analyzing these kind of destructive behavior kind of questions, especially for older individuals, more than 40 people who are suffering from these kind of destructive behavior. Kind of, if I skip my meal, if I do not do exercise on time, if I do not take pills on time, these kind of questions, how exactly the responses would vary. And we did identify that the responses for female versus male comparison versus male to male versus male to female were slightly varied, which means that male responses were aligned with the other male, but if they are using the same biomarkers, however, the deviation was much more different when a male asked versus a female asked. So there is a biasness which is involved in large language model in providing these recommendations as well. So we are analyzing this kind of behavior in terms of both age as well as gender in terms of providing these recommendations, and it is being identified that large language models do have the tendency to provide more of a biased kind of response. This is the another recent work that we have been doing, and what we are doing in this area is that we are collecting personalized data, which could be in the form of text, it could be in the form of voice, it could be pictures, it could be videos. So you collect the data for a particular individual, and you can create a digital avatar of that individual based on the collection of all of these attributes, whether it is text, voice message, pictures, and video. So imagine you have a friend and you cannot speak to your friend for a longer time. However, you miss that friend. So what you can do is you can create a digital avatar of that particular individual. If you have some text information of that individual, you have voice messages, you have pictures as well as videos. So when you have this, you can pass as soon as you pass this data to a fine-tuned personalized AI, generative AI based technology for providing more text as well as converting text to speech as well as generating these images, you can create a personalized digital twin or a personalized avatar for that specific individual. And that individual can be seen in the smartphone, it can be seen or spoken on a smart device as well as on AR and VR glasses. So currently, this is not our group, but many other groups, especially in US, are creating these digital avatars of individual so that they feel that there is someone who is available whom you are closer, and they can provide the kind of a response as well as text that you are currently seeking in. And there are variety of applications as soon as these digital avatars are created, because we want a very small amount of information and that should create the overall digital avatar. So there are applications in the case of a augmented reality glasses, their application in terms of the apps that can be utilizing the digital avatars, or there could be smart speakers who can you can communicate with them in providing the kind of voice that you want to listen to. So that is another area people are currently working. So I believe I did cover a variety of scope. This particular field is evolving in overall, as the time is increasing in terms of digital. In terms of, I started with the applications. I did start with the CBT, which is the cognitive behavioral therapy. I did also talk about the wearable devices. Besides this, I did provide you certain issues that are happening in this area of digital therapist, especially lack of empathy, lack over reliance on AI technology, and also what are the recent research prospects where people are utilizing this technology not only for mental health well-being but also for classification, providing recommendations as well as helping you to become a better individual. So there are a variety of domain people are using these digital therapists, and as the technology is evolving, this technology would be, we can see it in the in the case of multimodal therapists, where we can, besides the text, we can have voice, we can have videos of digital avatars who can talk to you when you are suffering from mental health issues. These are considered as an evolving in nature, and people are currently investigating how we can have more kind of physical as well as a kind of a mental health information seeking between the two party, which is the host as well as the individual you are speaking to, which is in the case of digital therapist. However, I would like to remind back again, whenever you communicate with these AI bots on social media, on different apps, there is a security as well as privacy concern. Security in terms of the data that you are providing in can be leaked to the third party who is either monitoring this data, and then they can utilize this for harmful purposes. That is one important thing. The second one is privacy. Whenever this information is being given, and as and when other third party utilize this data, they can pass on this information to third parties who can either use this data for providing you certain recommendation, or can just give it to the other party which you do not want. So there are these security and privacy concern. Besides this, there are ethical considerations as well. Whenever you are communicating with them, people can reuse the same kind of data to make yourself as another individual. So there is content moderation, there is privacy as well as data biasness involved. As I mentioned in my previous slides, there are biasness which are involved as well. So I think with this, I would like to end my talk. If you have any questions, I can answer this. If no questions, thank you very much.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, ma'am. Participant, any questions? You can unmute yourself and can ask.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I am from pharmacy background. So, as we were discussing about this behavioral therapy, so is there any AI can help in reducing the animal trials that are being taken in the development of drugs of this category, like depression and all, that are mental disorders? So, the dosage management is basically first the animal trials are run and then the human trials are run.
Mhm. Yeah,
Are
I'm
there
not. Yeah, I'm not aware of that about the animal usage. So I'm so sorry. I do not. I'm not aware of that.
Okay, and also these drugs are, this cannot be available without the prescription of a doctor. So, if this
Mhm.
model is suggesting any drugs, then how can the patient get that? Is there any model which will, any pharmacy sitting over there means can assist in this system? And
So currently none by far, because these are considered as being trained on some kind of specialized health data, and none of the pharmacy can just provide you drug based on the recommendation provided by AI bot. However, in especially in US, people are using, doctors are using AI, and both the doctor, human doctor, as well as AI is providing that recommendation, and that you can take to the drug pharmacy where you can be given that specific drug. But I'm not sure about, especially in India, if that is even feasible, because it's not feasible currently.
And also, while playing some games, there is a pop-up that if you play this game, then it treats a nervous system disorder. So the survey that you mentioned, all the data will be collected from that form only, that which pop-ups come
Yes,
and someone fills this,
yes,
and they
yes.
okay. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other
So,
questions?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. My topic is anti-mental analysis. So I
Mhm.
just want to know that from where I can get any benchmark data set. Is there any sources available or something? Because my topic is mental illness detection. So that's why.
Yeah, so PhysioNet is one website that you can check, and there are multiple of these mental health data sets which are publicly available. PhysioNet
Okay, ma'am.
is,
Thank you so much.
yeah, you should be able to get. Yes.
Yeah. Any other questions, participants? Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shah. It was
Thank you very much
amazing.
for this informative session and giving your precious time. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. I know it's very late at your it's 10:30 a.m. over here. So yeah, I have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good night, ma'am.
Bye.
हाँ, ये तो